Hey everybody, 'cause let me tell y'all what happened before we came on before we came on live. I was calling Miss Schermel I was saying Alyssa.
Yes, Alyssa.
I was saying Alyssa, but it's Alyssa. And right before we came on, I said, say your name for me. I said it like 4 times. And then as soon as we went live, I guess I got stage fright. And then I was like, which one is it?
I probably wouldn't even know the difference. Like you said, you were saying Alyssa 4 times and I didn't even hear it.
Okay.
It's Alyssa though. My name is Alyssa Schermel.
Yes. Everybody welcome Alyssa Schermel. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. So if you guys have not already checked out Alyssa's links, you should. I'm so excited to have her on the show tonight, right? For a number of reasons. We talk about the magic of books all the time in the group. We talk about engaging our children and keeping them engaged with books, and making the books enough, having them fall in love with story time. And Alyssa is in the business of entertaining kids and writing stories for kids to keep them engaged. So if you've seen her on YouTube before, she is the unicorn Princess Gemma, right?
That's right. Yep.
And she's a children's entertainer and author of The Unicorn Princess. She loves sparking imagination and creative expression in kids as a way of building self-esteem. And we love that. Can you share a little more about yourself?
Yeah, so like you said, I'm a first-time author. This is the very first book I've ever done, The Unicorn Princess. And before that, and even now, I'm a children's entertainer. So I go to, not now because it's COVID, but pre-COVID, I was going to houses and I was doing birthday parties for kids as different princess entertainers. And not just princesses, I'm also do Emma Wiggles. So I do Emma Wiggles and Belle and Elsa, Ariel, and the Unicorn Princess. Yeah.
I was going to say, I have to ask, what's your most requested princess?
Elsa, by far.
Actually, I was going to say it has to be.
Yeah, I should have asked you to guess, but it's by far Elsa. Frozen came out in 2013, and it's still going incredibly strong. But my second most requested princess is the Unicorn Princess, which surprised me.
It doesn't surprise me. So when I first came across Alyssa, I saw her book, Alyssa. Guys, am I going to be doing this the whole show? I'm going to be so embarrassed.
No, it's not your fault.
I first came across Alyssa, right, I saw her in costume, and it's a skill, like it's a talent to be able to transform yourself in the way that you do. Because when she first popped on camera this evening, I was like, and if it wasn't for the eyes, I would not have known that it was Alyssa. I would not have known. And so, it's a little early in the show, but you guys should know that she'll be back to do a read aloud of her book. And hopefully, if I can get the technology right, because Alyssa's ready. She does this all the time, and she knows how to set her camera up.
The lights.
So as long as I can get the technology right, this will be just a magical experience. So, the Unicorn Princess, where did the idea come from?
Well, it did come from these parties. So that's where it all started. I was playing, Elsa most of the time. And then we got all these requests for this Unicorn Princess. Mm-hmm. And other princess companies were already playing this Unicorn Princess. And we were like, what is a Unicorn Princess, first of all? Yeah. Is it like a half unicorn, half girl? Is it a unicorn that transforms into a girl? Like, what is it? But we ended up getting the costume. We got we got a custom made costume. We got a custom made wig, the whole shebang, the horn, everything.
Yeah.
All the makeup. And and then we had to like develop a backstory for this character. So,
Mhm.
you know, like with the other Disney princesses, they have these full fleshed out characters. They have films about them. They have stories about them. There's a storybook. And anytime I go to a party, I always bring a story. And this character didn't have a story. So
Yeah.
I was looking everywhere for like unicorn princess story, and there was nothing, like nothing existed. So it's sort of, that's how it all came to be, is because I had to develop this story myself.
Okay.
So I sort of had to develop this backstory, and along with all the questions that I was getting from kids, like, where am I from? What is this world that I'm from? Like, who am I? Who are my friends? All these questions. So, you know, with the questions and with the backstory that I'd created, I thought, you know, this is like perfect opportunity to put it down in a story, like to put it down in a picture book. So that's where it came from.
Yes, and Aiden really enjoyed it. I read it the first time with him. A lot of times, like when we receive books, I'll read them first, but I think that he must have been like right next to me when I opened the book up. And he was immediately intrigued because the book opens to a little girl, right? She's on her bed. It's bedtime and she's with her grandmother. And she says that she doesn't want to go to sleep because she has nightmares, right? There it is.
I'll open it. Let's see. Here we go. Right here. There she is. Yeah.
Yes. And so she has nightmares and she's looking for comfort, right, from her grandmother. And Aiden, this is something that we go through mostly every night because he has like nightmares and things like that. So he was immediately drawn into the story. Like, how is she going to solve this problem? Like, what's going to happen with these nightmares? And, and then I don't want to give too much of the story away, but the way that her grandmother helped her, I was like, that's so sweet.
It's all about imagination.
Yes, yes. And the other thing that pulls you in is the illustrations. They're beautiful.
Yes, I do love the illustrations so much. They're done by Marina Somel, and she's so talented. Just like the brush strokes that she uses and the colors. And I love how she does the backgrounds. Like, I'll show you the map that she created. You can see it.
That map is so cool. And it kind of like immediately I said series in my head because we need a story behind. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. You see, because we need a story behind all the places on the map.
That's right. I know.
Okay.
I'll tell you where my next story takes place. It's right here in the Crystal Caves.
Oh, I'm going to share that with Aiden. He will be excited.
There's so many places though. I have and it continues at the back too. There's the fairy forest over here. It's so hard to like figure out where my camera is here, but I've got the fairy forest. There's the Rainbow River in the back here. There's the Purple Peaks. There's Mermaid Cove down here. I don't know if you can see. Yeah. No, right here. Mermaid Cove. So all sorts of places that Troll Mountain, all sorts of places to write about.
Yes. So how did you find your illustrator?
On Upwork. Have you heard of Upwork?
I have. Did people find their illustrators in like the not a craziest places, but there's so many different places to pull from?
There are. I think because you can get recommendations from people. Like people ask on Facebook groups and they get recommendations. I wouldn't recommend finding an illustrator on Fiverr. Probably not going to get the best quality illustrations there. But there's some really great talent that I found on Upwork. It was difficult finding an illustrator actually for this book because I did have that initial vision in mind. Like I really wanted someone who would create this magical, that was so important to me, to have this really magical world and this like sparkly, colorful magic, just all of that tied in together. And that was really hard to find, surprisingly hard to find. And maybe it's because this style is a little older. I feel like it might be a little bit more 90s, with the colors
Okay.
and everything.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
see what you mean.
I'm not sure what it is, but it was difficult. And then when I found this illustrator, I was like, yes, like she is the one.
Mm-hmm.
She had another book that was like a dragon book, and I was like, oh, I love how she does this dragon.
Okay. Were the styles similar from book to book?
Yes, yeah, very
Okay.
similar. Yeah.
Cool. So there was another author that was on that said that she started out looking for an illustrator on Fiverr, and she soon learned that it wasn't the way to go. And then you have to worry about people giving you original work because apparently people are okay.
Yeah, I've heard about that. People will, or even clip art. Like people like do clip artwork on Fiverr, or they steal from other people, and
Yeah.
of course, like that would be terrible to
Yeah.
pay somebody, and then you get all this stolen work or copyrighted work. Imagine.
Yeah. So you developed this story for kids' parties, right? So in this group on this podcast, we talk to parents about using books as tools in their homes to teach or to have conversation with their child. And your book is focused on there's this whole theme of bravery, self-esteem. What made you go there? Like, why did you decide to focus on self-esteem and bravery?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. For me, I think it's because that's something that I have always struggled with. That's something that,
Okay.
that I struggled with as a kid, that I still struggle with to this day. And I think it's so important to really have kids to develop this self-esteem in kids, so that they're able to express themselves, so that they're able to have full relationships and connections with people, and just to be able to express themselves fully, and to know who they are. I think it's so important. And the thing that stands in the way of that is fear. So I think that's why I came up with this. It's about fear. It's about standing up to your fears. It's about letting yourself experience that fear, not running away from it, not trying to fight it, but just facing that fear, being in the face of fear. And
Yeah.
I think that's an important lesson for kids.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And what I've really liked about your book is that, going into it, the nightmare, she was scared herself. But when it was time for her to face fear, she wasn't facing fear for herself. She was facing fear for a friend, right?
Yes.
Did you have something? It looked like you had something to say about that.
I was just going to say, yeah, it's more about like the value, right? The value is her friend, like her friendship is so valuable, and saving this world is really valuable to her, and saving her friends. And that's something that is more important than fear. It's bigger than the fear.
Yes.
And so she was able to do it. But I think, yeah, she had to realize the bigger picture more than just that fear within her.
Yeah. Yeah. When she was in the story, and parents, check it out. We'll put up the information here. You can also find it Amazon. We'll drop the Etsy link later, and she'll be here back to do a read aloud. But in the book, I thought it was just really beautiful how she used the power. Oh, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
I don't want to give away.
We're talking to the parents. We're not talking to the kids. So
yes, how she used the power of.
Hi, Aiden.
Do you want to say hello, Aiden?
Hello. Hello.
I'm so excited about your read aloud.
Oh, yay. I'm so excited to read it to you. Except I'm not going to look like this.
I know. I seen you in the video read the book before.
Oh, wonderful. I'm so excited to read it to you.
I'll be back.
No, you won't. No. every once in a while we have moments like that, and sometimes I edit them out and sometimes I don't, because we're all like, everybody watching is a parent, so it's like, and if you're not a parent, you have nieces, nephews, you have different people in your lives, and you understand.
For me, it's my dog.
What were you gonna say?
For me, it's my dog.
Gotcha.
She comes in, she'll like jump up on me, she'll be in my face on the keyboard. She's a disaster.
Just all over the place. So I just wanted to quick say that we're doing a new series on the blog, right? If you guys follow the blog or if you're in the Facebook group, and I'm really excited about it. It's read aloud tips from children's books authors. And I think that this is like really gold for parents, because we're always looking for ways to keep the kids engaged in reading time. And when authors write these books, they write it with a certain like voice in mind, right? They write it with like, there's a certain way to read the book, right? And I think that getting tips from the authors who write these books is gold for us as parents, because it just gives us a bit more insight and helps us keep the kiddos engaged. And because we are sitting here with somebody who is in the entertainment business of kids, and she has contributed. Thank you so much for contributing to the new blog series. I thought it would be great just to talk about one of the tips that she shared in her blog post. If we could just talk about that just a little bit. And I had brought it up earlier, and now I have to go find it. Okay, so you said in your, and this is one of 3 tips. So when the blog comes out, make sure you check it out, because there's so much more here. But you say, allow your imaginations to really take off. Go with the flow and let yourself be a kid again. So can you tell us more about that? And then how does it lead you as you're entertaining kids? Did I give you enough of the tip?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I mean is like, putting on voices, making it your own, not being afraid to be silly with it, being silly with the text, even, maybe not authors will like this, but even changing the text to fit your own voice, to fit something that you might say, and just like exploring and being creative with it and doing what makes you feel good with it. I think, if the reader sees that you're having fun with it and you're feeling good about it and you're expressing yourself with it, they're going to enjoy it so much more, and they're going to want to participate in that. And they're going to be like listening intently because it's just so entertaining for them. Yeah. So I always try to like put on the voices. If I see, like, I'll watch the kids and I'll see how they're reacting to things. But, you know what? I'll give an example with my nephew. So I read him a lot of bedtime stories. And I read him a lot of novels, and especially Harry Potter. So whenever we read Harry Potter, I'm not saying I'm any good at it. Like, I'm really bad at it.
No, we just want to hear it.
My British, I feel like I need a line to be able to do it, but I'll do like the British accent. I'll, try to go through Ron and Hermione's voices and Harry Potter's voice and Snape and Voldemort, and I'll do all the voices and make a total fool out of myself. And my mom's downstairs and she's like, "What are you doing?" But it's fun. And my nephew's like, "You're really weird." But he loves it. He loves it.
I was going to say, but it's memorable. And I'm sure you're so much better at it than I am, because I get lost in the voices. Like, I try to give everybody a voice, and then like you get lost and you start giving people the wrong voices, and you
totally. I do the exact same thing. I'm like, "Oh wait, that was Ron's voice. Now I'm Hermione." Like, and especially when there's like that back and forth dialogue, it gets tricky.
Yeah. You're right.
Like, people are paid to do this stuff.
They do. And I love how you said like change the text up a little bit, because we talk about that. And I throw like in attention grabbers with Aiden if I notice that he's not as engaged in the book as I would like him to be. They get distracted easily, and I'll add his name to the book, or I'll say things that I know will get his attention. And he's like, "Wait, where's that? Let me see," So
Right.
I'm glad that an author has given the okay to change the words in
Hey,
the
if you
book.
want to do that with my book, it's all good.
Sometimes we need a little freedom with the text.
Whatever makes the kid like more interested in it. Like, I'm all for it.
Yes. Thank you. So we will hear more from her when she comes back to do her read aloud. But I just want to tell you guys, if it isn't clear already, why we are here today, right? Because this book, we talk about using books as tools for our children, and not taking a children's book, reading it, and just like putting it away, never to be seen again, but finding that collection of books that we can use time and time again to read with our kids when we need them. And so I talked about, like, Aiden and his nightmares, pulling a book like this out and reminding him that, of the power inside of him, that theme of bravery, that theme of standing up for our friends, being there for our friends, self-esteem, doing it afraid. There are just so many great themes in this book. And so if you haven't checked out the site already, come back, join us for the read aloud so that you can hear more of the book. And I just know that you guys will enjoy. Is there anything else you want to share about your book?
I can't think of anything on the spot.
Okay.
But I think we talked about a lot. I think we covered a lot. And I'm really, really excited to be able to do the read aloud, especially in costume and everything. So
Yes.
It's going to be fun. Be there for that.
Yes, be here for that. So I just want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. If you watch live, just #live. It looks like people are going to catch it on the replay. So come back, #replay. Let us know you were here. Ask any questions, and I'll make sure to get them to the author so that we can, so that you can get those answered. And I think that's it.
Yeah. That was really fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.